Hi there, it's Frank with Vyral Marketing, and I'd like to meet Ryan up in New Hampshire. She's been a client of ours for for a long time. She's been in real estate for 9 years, and she hired us to get on video and stay in touch with her database with really great video newsletters for a solid 36 touch marketing system. And you're going to hear from her what she's doing and how it's working for her and the topics that are working and how it's growing her business, among other strategies, I'm sure, to help her get to 143 homes sold so far in the past 12 months, which is great. That's such a good number of homes, especially in Concord, New Hampshire. Never been there. How many homes are there? How big is that market, Ryan?
There are 45,000 people live there. So this is a good question about homes. I should actually know
Yeah,
that
well,
offhand.
that's a pretty significant market share for 43,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, can you go anywhere without anyone recognizing you there?
No, that's why I live in Barbados half the year, so I can be myself without talking about real estate.
Yeah. Maybe we can. I also want to cover that a little bit because how many months a year are you out of the city, out of the country?
The last couple years I've been out of the New Hampshire like anywhere between 7 to 8 months.
So 7 to 8 months of the year, you're not even there, and you run your real estate team entirely virtually.
Yes.
So much to discuss.
Yes.
This will be a good interview. All right. So I should probably know this before interviewing you.
Okay.
How long have you been a customer?
So I first started. When did you do your recruiting class? That was like 6 months
Years
long.
ago. Years ago. I mean,
Two
we started
years.
that back in like 2017 was the first one.
Okay, I did it. I think it might have been 2020 that I did
Okay.
it. And I was terrified of video, to be honest. But I knew that if I was going to grow the team outside of myself, I had to leverage video. And so I started with the recruiting account and doing training videos. And then about I think it was last fall, I was like, why am I not doing this for the database? And so then I started doing it with the database.
So when you started in 2020, where are you now with the help of the recruiting videos? What was your team then, and what is your team now?
Gosh, well, I broke the team at the end of 2019. So at 2020, in the fall, I had 2 agents, myself, and 2 admin.
Okay.
And now we're at 5 agents, not including me. Then we have a director of operations, a full admin staff, and we have 3 people in the interviewing process at the moment. So it's a radically different makeup.
Production-wise, how much business, well, it was 2020, but how much business were you doing, say, in 2019, 2020, and how much business are you doing now? What's
So
the increase been?
2020, we were at 100 units. And so the last couple years, we've been at this 145 mark, the last 2. But now that we've got the hub and the organization of our admin team in place, we can add agents. So we're scaling up at the moment. So I suspect that in a year, we'll be at 250 units.
How many homes sell a year in that market?
Oh, gosh. Well, in Concord itself, at any given time at the moment, there's like 18 houses on the market. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We also cover southern New Hampshire, all of southern New Hampshire from the west to the seacoast up about an hour north of us.
How long ago did you start taking long breaks from your team and running it virtually?
It was that first winter of COVID. I went to Barbados for 6 weeks and ended up staying 3 months. And then the next year it was like, can I do it for 5? And then last year it was 6. And then in the summer, my husband and I have an adventure van. So we'll go out.
An adventure van? I
Yes,
like that.
that's what we call it. And so I've been last year I was in the Pacific Northwest for the entire month of July. And the year prior, out in Colorado for all of July.
So that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know a lot of agents that have maybe tried to accomplish something what you've done or are a bit jealous of you being able to do that. What couple of things would you say allow you to do that? To be away for so long and things still run and you still make money?
I invested in, well, there are a couple things. First off was Mike and I, my husband, we came from being in a lot of debt in 2015 time. And so we got full throttle into real estate and kept our lifestyle really small while we paid off debt. We've kept our lifestyle small comparatively to the income we make as we move forward, because we now just want to get into the wealth building stage of life. So I think that's been super helpful. As money come in, I'm not increasing my lifestyle. And then secondly, investing in the people. So I invest heavily in the development of the leaders on my team, because they're the ones on the ground leading the team while I'm gone.
Any insight to that on how what do you mean investing in your
So
leaders?
so my director of ops has a coach. My director of sales has a coach. They've been coached for, Chris, I think, has now been coached for 4+ years. Um, Alicia came in with coaching because I realized, like, I have I'm constantly lifting the lid of my leadership, and yet I saw huge gaps. And I was like, if I'm going to grow, these people are going to grow alongside me. They need somebody else holding them accountable, helping them develop their own goals for themselves, not the boss or the leader who's, out on an island for 6 months out of the year. Like, so I just really felt like that was important. And we also go to the real estate events, like we're in Keller Williams, so mega camp, family reunion. Alicia, our ops, she goes to the ops boss. So like that's all part of the team, is like promoting that and supporting that.
So where does all your business come from? 143 deals. Can you go through your lead sources and
Yeah.
how
So
people?
sphere is huge. I would say that's like sphere of influence is at least 50% at any given time. There were a couple years ago, it was at 73%. But every agent comes to the team with 250 contacts, and they have to communicate with those people to keep moving through our training. And that's where new agents like pick up their deals. So sphere, because we've done a lot of events, we do the giveaways, and we use the newsletter to help advertise this. So we gave away a Peloton, we've given away home organizing. So people call in, and we're just constantly touching our sphere in that way, client events. I also have the team work on showing up in their community around their purpose and passion. So whether that's the garden club or creating the Browns Backers of New Hampshire club, like, go build community or be in community of service around what fills your soul. And so then they're authentically creating connections that way. And then open houses are huge. Agent referrals, on average, we close 20 a year, inbound referrals. What else? I'm trying to think. And then we've just picked up in the last year the online Google SEO. And so we're starting to see closings from those.
What do you mean online SEO?
So we have another marketing company who, they're like Facebook, Google. We're at top of the click page, and we're getting about 40 leads a
So
month.
getting found online.
Correct. Online leads.
What are they searching for to find you online?
All the key codes. So they're changing the algorithm every month. So like real estate in New Hampshire, or 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, Concord.
Got it.
And so we're having
Buyers.
good, yeah, buyer and sellers too, but a lot of buyers.
So take me back to your decision to hire Vyral. I mean, what was the problem or pain you were dealing with when you were
Trying to,
looking to
I can
probably
tell you
find a
right off
solution
the
like us?
bat. Well, it
Yeah,
was
tell me.
the newsletter. Like, it was just took so much time and resources to like create it on our own, and then manage the list and all of that. And then finally, I've been going through this phase of stopping being an egomaniac and thinking I can do everything myself. And I think that's another reason why I am able to have the business I have, is like just letting go of layers. So it's like, this is a professional company that holds me accountable to showing up every 2 weeks to record video. They package it all, they put it on all the platforms. It's almost like set it and forget it. And it's effective.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, you get about 70 deals a year from your database.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what your ROI on anything that we're doing for you is? Is there any way you can track that, or how do you gauge that when you see that charge coming through
I
every
think
month?
this year what I just have been starting to track is we've now taken 5 listings from sellers that have put their addresses into the home value. And that's like the only direct way to say the videos and the newsletter are working, but we wouldn't know that those 5 people were interested in their value if they weren't watching and opening the emails.
Yeah, because we send emails out and there's a call to action either directly or indirectly to go find
Yeah.
out what your home is worth.
And then we have a database manager. So she always takes the list that you send us in the email, and she has a spreadsheet where it's like we track the agent. So whoever that contact is assigned to, she tracks all the attempts the agents have done to reach out to that person that's put in the home value.
So are your agents submitting their database for the newsletter?
Yeah, our entire database goes to the newsletter.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So you have 5 agents on your team. They all came up with 250 names,
Mm-hmm.
and they all decided to put them on your newsletter,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But when those names were uploaded into the system, we had a contact owner the name of the agent. So when you
Yep.
get the report of who's engaging, it has a name of an agent next to that person who goes to your database manager, and they give that contact out to their respective agents.
Yes.
Did everyone catch that?
Yeah, so you send us the spreadsheet, and then
Yeah.
Jessica goes through and is like, oh, that person goes to this person. And then she tracks it, like attempt 1, attempt 2, until they make a connection, or they go from hot at that point. And then the agent has to categorize them correctly based on the conversations they have.
Nice. So tell me about the discussion when you go to your agents to say, come up with 250 names. How do you help them do that? Because that's very painful and hard. And then how do you convince them to hand them over to your system to get the company marketing?
Well, for us at this point, is that we're an attract value proposition. If you don't do that, we don't even say, you can't even start art training. You can't connect with us until you have the 250, and you have to come with a complete template before we even talk about onboarding you. So it's another way to have people self-select out of our team, because our agents are productive. Any agent, we have a track record of taking a new agent up to 18 transactions in their first 12 months, and then consistently doing anywhere between 24 and 40 after that. So we don't want just like some agent that won't make connections with people. Like we want, what I heard at Mega Camp, we want killers. So if you're not willing to do that, then it's just not going to work out to be on our team.
Well, it looks like you've gone from 100 deals a year to 145
Mm-hmm.
since you started Vyral
Mm-hmm.
by getting more agents, by getting them to work their list,
Yeah.
and putting this in place.
Yeah.
And I would assume you use a lot of this. It's your giveaways and your events. You're promoting all through the content as well. So it kind of weaves into all that.
Mm-hmm.
Love how you're getting the names of the agents or the database of the agents and putting it into your list.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about some of these giveaways.
All right, so we call them, so we'll do one quarterly. We've given away a Peloton. So we have a whole social media campaign. We have a text campaign through our CRM, and then we'll advertise through the Vyral newsletter about it's coming. And then the week that it happens, we're texting and calling as many people as we can while it's happening. And we'll get anywhere between 200 to 600 applicants, or entries, and we ask for a referral. So it's a lot. It's kind of convoluted, but sometimes we'll get up to 50 names of people that might be interested in buying or selling. And then our database.
How does someone call to register? They have to call?
So it's a text code. So they text whatever the name of the giveaway is, like win a Peloton, to a number, and then they get sent a Google form, and they have to fill out the Google form.
Got it. That's great.
Yeah.
Got any ideas for your events? So you do events? What are some good event ideas?
We do a big client event party every year. In the past, like last year, we did it at the local art school. We had a bouncy house, face painting, professional photographer, food trucks. And it's just a great way to have that contact with the people that have either referred us business or have done business with us in the last 12 months. That's like our biggest big in-person event. And then I have been throwing on a personal level this barn party every year, where I invite anyone I know that lives in Concord to the barn party. And it's kind of its whole thing on itself. Yeah.
Barn party?
I have a barn. So we live in downtown Concord, which is like the city, and I have a big barn. And so we'll get a band, food, just come as you are, and the police shut it down every year.
The police shut it down?
Yeah, but then there's like the city councilors are there and like other people of influence, so they'll talk to the police and we'll buy ourselves like another 45 minutes.
How many people show up?
Anywhere between, well, on average, like 150 people.
Never been to Concord.
Yeah.
All right. It's interesting. You've been in business for 5, 6, 9 years. And I don't hear a lot of crazy tech or calling or sphere events, giveaways, agent referrals, open houses. I'm just curious, was that a deliberate decision to stay consistent to those extreme basics versus all of
Yes.
the people calling you trying to sell you stuff?
Oh, I can't stand the people calling me to sell stuff. And I think that's also why I was so hesitant around Vyral, because it's just like another add-on thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now, but then I had to realize my coach was like, Ryan, you're only spending 6.5% of your budget on lead gen. Like, let's add something. And so it wasn't until I was in that place where I realized like I can invest in this, but I've really been a red light, green light because of all that debt. And I also wanted to build an authentic business. And so originally when I got in, I was dragged into real estate because I thought it was like I just had a negative impression of sales from for many reasons, but I was like, I'm going to fill the need where I feel like it needs to be filled. And I was a teacher previously, so I did a ton of seminars. So, like, my passion at the time was agriculture. So, I did like these farm sessions, like how to buy and sell a farm in New Hampshire. And I'd bring all the professionals together. First time home buyer classes, because my time buying a first home was terrible, like, not a great experience. How to make your house more sustainable. So, I was doing these, like, or these classes that were around my passions. And then I was volunteering at a really high level around my passions. And I was just getting all this sphere business. So then I was like, if it's working for me to do this, then I can help other agents do the same thing around their passions. And then you're working with people that you like to work with, not just like rude people that are just want the discount.
Besides the 5 opt-ins and like the hard ROI numbers, how do you know that the money you're spending on what you're doing with us is worth it?
Personally, it's worth it for me because it's video I think is so important and it keeps me consistent in doing it. And I'm getting feedback from people that like, I love your videos. I know there's not like a ton of views, but the fact that people are watching it and finding it value is an ROI for me. And then also it's an opportunity to interview my agents, give them a platform too. So like we just did one I think it went out this week about Chris. And like he's the director of sale. Who is he as a person? So it's a platform to give other people voices in our database, on our team, and then within our database.
There probably has to be a huge benefit too of like you're just kind of traveling the country, shooting videos, doing the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and handing those warm leads out to your agents to work.
Yeah, they don't care where I am. They do not care where I am because I consistently show up in the places that matter, and we have way more leads than they can handle. So there's not like we're not value deficient in that way because I'm not here physically.
What about the seller? Does the seller bother that they see you in your videos and you're everywhere, but you're not physically there to work with them?
So I don't. My background is usually really nondescript. They don't know where I am. I don't advertise it because I don't want that to be a distraction.
Oh,
Or
so it's all through Zoom.
it's all through Zoom. Everything's through Zoom. Also,
So
I
you work
haven't
with.
been transacting. Like I'm just picking and choosing right now a couple transactions, but last year I only did 6.
How early was that for you where you realized you're not going to do much of your own production and you're going to start handing it off? When did you make that decision?
Um, so the year of 2020, I did 50 myself, and who I was, I did that a couple years in a row. I realized if I kept doing that, I'm never going to be able to help other people grow because it just kind of runs you to ground. It wasn't leveraged. And so I weaned myself off because I find it to be, I'm an addict in that way. Like it's a dopamine hit every time you're like putting a deal together. And I was like, I'm way more useful where I am in this realm of the business, growing the business, than I am being like on the ground being an agent. So I went 50 to 24 to 6. And so far this year, I've done 2 because, and I'm doing a couple just to stay like practiced. And I'm such a better leader. Like we do a culture feedback with our team quarterly. And the admin who have been with me over the last 3 years, multiple people had said, I really like this version of Ryan.
Ryan, that's pretty remarkable, meaning in 2020, 50 of your 100 deals were you.
I know.
And now it's 140 deals and a couple are from you.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You should really proud of that.
I'm super proud of it. Like I'm just such a better person too.
And also it's not from like 2 to 30 agents.
Correct.
It's from 2 to 5.
Correct.
How do you stay so grounded? Last question.
Oh, it's been a work in progress, Frank. Having strong values and prioritizing self-care. I didn't always do that. I'm a very driven person and I will drive myself into breakdown mode. So I do things like yin yoga, surfing. I picked up surfing. So that's also been a huge learning to play again. Therapy. What else? Hiking, being in nature, just taking care of myself. Chiropractic.
You have a solid business.
Thanks.
Very solid business. What's in the future hold for you?
Growing it and then also adding in, I realize this next journey of growth for me to attract is to build the wealth and leaning into wealth communities. And I feel like a kindergartner in these rooms. Like I'm in Brett Tanner's KW Wealth group and I show up and I'm like, what are these words that they're using? So really becoming a student of wealth because I know that that's going to attract more great talented people because I'll have more opportunities for people.
That's great, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you guys want a copy of Ryan's marketing plan, you can go to getvyral.com. On the homepage, you can download the official video marketing plan. That's what Ryan is following. So she hired us to get a quality 36 touch marketing program with some videos and social media going to our database of consumers. We've also done it on the agent side for recruiting, which we haven't gotten into for time, but that probably helps you considerably staying in touch with all the agents probably throughout KW to refer you business to Concord, New Hampshire.
For sure. Yeah. We had every agent that comes into our world goes on to that. And then I know people will go and watch the training videos before they call us for a call about joining our team.
Oh, of course. They want to get to know you and get comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah. And those are some of the best recruits because they spent time with you. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to like working with this person. Sign me up.
Exactly.
And there's a mutual good fit.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.